Howdy folks, let's get started with this. We're doing a review on the PrepWorks Cherry Pitter and the Life Height Cherry Stoner. Each of these is a good tool to use for cherry pitting, and I'm going to tell you up front, if you're doing a lot of cherries, this pitter is really worth the investment. If you're only going to be doing cherries a few times a year in small amounts, this one is a better choice. Now that's getting you right up front with what I'm going to tell you about them, but they both have drawbacks, so let's get started on how this works. First, you need to go ahead and do your cherries, get them dry and wash them and de-stem them, but don't throw away those stems and don't throw away the pits. I've got some ideas for you down below in a blog post that'll show you how you can use them. Tell you how you can use them. All right, drawback number one with the Life Height, you need to wear protective gear or be in an area where it's protected. This will make a mess. This will make a mess. You actually look like you might have had a murder scene here with either of them. This doesn't make a big mess if you think, but it actually does shoot off spray everywhere, and so it's messy. The other thing too is that it does not handle really large cherries very well. You have to give it some help. The idea is that you put your cherries into this bin here, and gravity will pull each of them down into the chamber where you have this pump that you go through, and it will pierce the cherry, push the stone down into this bin, and your cherry will come out into the bowl. Now, the problem I have is that with bigger cherries, they tend to get stuck, and I have to get a knife and kind of help it out. So you're going to see me do that because while it works really well, every once in a while something gets stuck. So watch this. Already, number one got stuck. First one out of the bin because it's really big. Sorry about this, but this is the drawback for me. I really like it. It just became, when I was working through cherries earlier this week and last week trying to do dry, it was a lot. And see, number two gets stuck. This one's gonna get stuck a lot more than it did last time. Now, as far as saving time, this saves no time whatsoever, and it's making me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. But seriously, this is harder than it worked the last time that I was doing this. So let's try it one more time. There we go. When one gets stuck, I just pop it right out and go on with the rest. All right, that's how it works. It really is easy when you're working with some smaller cherries. When you're working with these really big ones, it really does not like it very well. But you can see here on my table, on my workspace, that I've got cherry juice that's flying here. I've even got it up on the wall where you can't see, but there's some up on the wall right here. It does spray. So now let's work with the Progressive Cherry Pitter. This actually does 6 cherries at one time. You place one in each of the chambers here. Then you have a prong here that goes into the cherry, pushes the pit down to the bottom, and then this little spring is supposed to help take off the cherries. So here we go. This is what I have used for years. I love this one because it's really easy. It does so much at once. But I do have a problem with occasionally for mine, the spring doesn't always, the little platform here doesn't always push these off. And it's because I'm either working with really large cherries or for some reason, and I always have to double check to make sure it's fully open, and mine just doesn't work completely. But it still saves me so much time. Let's go with this one more so you can see how this works. So you put them in, you press down, and you have 6 pitted cherries. Your luck may vary about if they're going to actually come off or not. I don't have a problem with this any more than I really have a problem with the Life Height one, and I had to occasionally go dig one out. This still saves me so much more time than using a knife to try to cut all of the cherries that I would be doing in a large batch of dehydrating, or even if I was going to be canning these. That's a lot of cherries to do, and I would rather go ahead and use this tool to help me get a little further. Now, if you were somebody who only does this once a year, I probably would not invest in one of these tools and would just go ahead and stick with a knife. But doing these 2 to 3 times a year, the tool is definitely worth it for me. The Progressive is, I think, about $12. The Life Height was $37, and those are US dollars. So my recommendation for both of them is learn how to use them. Take some time getting used to them. Your mileage may vary as far as how your cherries work in the Life Height, just because of the size of them. They would definitely work better if they were a little smaller, but we just get huge cherries out here all the time. So that may be the reason why I'm not able to be as accomplished with it as others might be able to, but it's still a good machine. It's just whether or not you want to spend that kind of money on it. There are other pitters on the market. There are some single pitters. There are a couple of different kind of the spring action pump ones, and you can take your pick, but these two work really well as far as getting through a day. You may still have to manipulate, but they do work. So as a kind of fun thing at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving away both of these to someone in the US. And unfortunately, I can't do this as an international giveaway because of COVID. I still can't travel to a post office where I can do international shipping. So it can only be somebody in the US. So in order to enter, please read the directions down below. I know that I'm going to require that you be a subscriber to my channel and that you put a comment down below so I can track them. I will be using a random comment picker to pick a comment at the date down in the description below. I'm also going to be including links in order to dehydrate cherries and to use your pits and stems anytime that you need to. That's what I think. Not the best review because I couldn't make them both successful easily to show you how easy they are, but that's the reality of how these work. I still like them both. I would still pick the Progressive unless I'm doing massive amounts of smaller cherries. Then I would go with Life Height if I'm going to be doing those for years. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.